Hey, it's Joy. Welcome back for another Whimsy Stamps video. Today I am making 4 sympathy cards using the Coneflower Frame Die from Whimsy. And we're going to just talk about how we went through the process. So I die cut the cone frame die 3 times in black and once in white. And I used my best ever craft tape just to hold down that die. And in the picture I said 2 or 3 times. It was actually 4. So using a pokey tool, I am just poking out the fine details of my frames. And I do that for all 4 so that we get ready for the technique. If you're interested, all of the products used will be linked in the description box below. Now I want to tell you that these techniques, it's not necessarily about the medium, whether you would use a stencil butter or you would use a lunar paste or nouveau mousse. You can kind of use whatever you want, so don't get hooked up on the actual product. To apply all of the paste today, I am using makeup sponges that you can buy at your local pharmacy. So for my first card, I am using Stencil Butter. This happens to be from TCW, and this is in the color of Seafoam. And I am swiping this across using the makeup sponge. I repeat that process with the Summer Sky Stencil Butter. And the reason I use these makeup sponges is because they're cheap. You're not ruining anything expensive. And once these stencil butters dry, they're done. There's no washing them out. So I just toss them in the garbage and I don't feel bad about it. You could use a dauber, like a foam dome dauber if you wanted to, anything. But like I said, I think that these makeup applicators are the easiest. Next, I come in with the green pear and I am swiping that across. So basically, this is a super simple technique, and it becomes repetitive. Then I repeat that again with the Seafoam and the Summer Sky. And I want to say these panels are about 3.5 by 6.5, just so that I have some room to trim it down to make a mini slimline card. Look at that shine on that card. Isn't that just so cool? Here I am showing you the black on black coneflower. This is very redundant in this process. I start out with that green pear and I am swiping it across this. So what I am essentially doing is using the frame die as a stencil, but this is going to be a 2-for-1 card, and those are definitely my style because I like getting the biggest bang for my buck. So here I am starting to swipe this down diagonally just to give this a little bit of a different feel than the first card. And I am using my glassboard media mat that has a magnet under it, so I'm just holding that down with my magnets like I always do in all of my videos. I come in with that Seafoam and I repeat that on a diagonal, and then I come in with the Summer Sky. This truly, it's a freeing process. You don't have to think about anything. You're just kind of getting messy, but the cleanup is super easy. All I had to do was use a baby wipe off my desk, wipe off my fingers, and I was done. So it's not like you're getting into something goopy or stuff that's a nightmare. So even though this is a mixed media project, it's still relatively clean. These Stencil Butters, and same with nouveau mousse, they actually dry super fast. While I worked on one, I'll let the other one kind of dry off to the side, and when I was ready to make all of my cards, they were dry. I didn't have to take a heat gun to them or anything. So these are just fun and fast moving. You can make a lot of cards here. Here's the reveal. I used my pokey tool to kind of release this. Now I didn't use any pixie spray, so you're going to see that I have a little bit of mousse I got underneath my quote-unquote stencil, and I'm okay with that. It kind of gives it a mixed media feel. I am then stamping the sentiments from the Sympathy So Deeply Sorry stamp set, and I do use both of the sentiments, So Deeply Sorry and Heartfelt Sympathy. There are multiples on that set, but those were the two that I chose. So here I'm laying out my cards. I come back to that first panel that we did on white, that we did the first, the swiping of the Stencil Butters. And I tried to decide between the white and the black. And I'm a high contrast kind of person, so I definitely went with the black. But the white would be absolutely beautiful for a sympathy card. It's up to you, whatever you like. But I wanted you to see it. I kind of like to audition my products before I glue them down. I did use Barely Art glue to glue those down. And then I trimmed down that sentiment and I popped it up with foam tape per my usual. And I think this turned out super fun, super easy. Now this is the piece that I used as a stencil that I swiped the colors diagonally. So I am using the Coneflower part of this, and I am going to mat that on black. So it's like I said, a mini slimline card. My cards are 3 1/4 by 6 1/4. That's what I choose for my slimline. You could use whatever size that makes you happy. Here I am applying the Heartfelt Sympathy, which I did stamp with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, but you could use whatever ink you want. Here is the piece that is the negative. So that was the part that I left the Coneflower off. And so we get another really cool look. And I just matted that. Actually, I didn't mat it at all. I just applied that directly onto a white card base. Here I'm trying to audition whether I want to cover up that corner or if I want to cover up the cone that's kind of mixed up. And finally, I just ultimately decide to embrace the entire messiness of this panel. For this next card, I did the extra white and Coneflower die. So I just matted that on black, and isn't that striking? This is just pure elegance, and I think it's perfect for a sympathy card. Sometimes I think keeping sympathy cards simple is the best way. Now I am adding some confetti from This Calls for Confetti. I believe that this was the raspberry, and I do that on all 4 cards using the exact same color. And I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. So I want to thank you for hanging out with us. I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, leave us a comment. We at Whimsy truly value your time. We love hanging out with you, and we cannot wait until next time. I'll catch you next Friday. All right, take care. Bye-bye.